Hey folks, Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Hey, we're coming to here with recently I kind of have reached a point with Facebook where it's time to make some severe changes. Now, if you have a better way to unfollow people on Facebook that are not listening to you, please let me know. I don't know that this is the de facto number one way to do this, but it's certainly through a number of experimentations, painful ones at that I have come to the summation of what I'll share with you here today on how to do this, or at least in my opinion. So if you have a better way, please let me know, because a whole lot of people would love to know how to do this better. And unfortunately, sadly, Facebook doesn't allow you to do it, probably for spam reasons. So, recently, just as recent as yesterday, Facebook made an announcement. They're going to start burying link bait links. They're going to start burying just stuff that is garbage content. And they're really, if you listen to the messages of what Facebook is telling you over and over through their recent changes they're making to their EdgeRank algorithm, they're basically telling you, look, we want high quality sharing stuff, original type content, great photos from your friends and family that are original. Memes are going out the window. Meme videos are going out the window. Content dump zones, like, you see the FM 96 fan pages that everyone shares, or whatever it is, things of that nature that are just meme content dump areas, or content farms, if you will. They're going to start burying all that stuff. What they're trying to tell you is you need to put higher quality content on Facebook. Now, one of the challenges I have is pretty unique, and I suppose you can use this for your own purposes at whatever level you are. But I'm a little bit popular on social media. Let's just say that, okay? On Facebook, I had 5,000 friends. I have over 17,000 followers following me on Facebook. On Twitter, I have over 300,000 people on several different accounts following me. So one of the challenges I had was back in 2009, 2011, when social media was really exciting, heavy, and all that good stuff. I took and followed anybody and everybody that, especially people that followed me, I would follow them. And a whole lot of people came to me from Twitter and other social media sites and were basically like, hey, I followed you from Twitter. Let's follow each other on Facebook for no apparent reason, and we'll probably never talk again. And that's what happened to me in 2000, 2009, 2011. Now, since then, I've acquired over 5,000 friends on Facebook. Now, somewhere in the meridian of recent years, I got a little more, I of course maxed out, so I kind of had to get more selective as to who I added to the group. But I also started noticing that just adding every idiot in the world that asked to be added to my Facebook probably wasn't the best idea. So I started backing that off. Now, what Facebook has been telling me is that having the most followers, having the most followers is fine. That's fine. If people want to follow, they can watch what I do. I do everything publicly, so that's fine. I've got 17,000 of them. I'm not going to touch them. That's fine. They can follow me all day long, whatever the case may be. I'm talking about friends that I'm connected with. Now, what I found by my method was that only about 1,000 people were supporting me by following my posts, liking my posts, talking, commenting on my post, and interacting with me on a fairly regular basis. Only about 1,000 people out of 5,000. Now, the problem is I'd love to see just those 1,000 people who support me post, because they support me and I like to support them, but I'm getting 4,000 of their posts and feed from people that really don't give a shit who I am anymore. I don't know why they've moved on, or maybe I'm just not the latest flavor of the week, which is fine. That's cool. I don't know why, but I know a lot of them did come to me through different games like Empire Avenue and Twitter. So this is a way to clean all that stuff out. And so what I did is I put up two different posts across maybe a week span, and I basically put up a post that said, hey, I'm going to start an unfollow program, and I like to know who's listening to me, who's not listening to me. And if you are listening to me, please like or comment on this post. Comments are, of course, preferred. I shouldn't have said likes. But please comment on this post if you want to be on the special list that I have of people that are going to follow me, because I'm going to unfollow everybody that is obviously not listening to me, because they're not listening to me, and I shouldn't be listening to them if they're not listening to me. So I started this process that way, and what was really great about it, I didn't really think it would be that big of a deal or make that big of a stink. I thought, maybe 10 of my really good friends would say, "Hey, Chris, don't unfollow me," and I'd be like, "Okay, well, I'll make sure I don't lose those people." Turns out both posts went really huge. They got a lot of comments. They got a lot of likes, which gave people in my 5,000 group a chance to save themselves, if you will, from being unfollowed by me. And the beautiful part is a whole lot of people jumped on. It turns out it was about 1,000 people over 2 posts that liked and stuff. So I put them into a category called acquaintances. Now, if you go into your Facebook and you hover most people's names, you can see you have friends, where you can ordain get notifications. You can have close friends. That's going to give you the highest quality feeds of people that you really want to get information from. And you have acquaintances. You can also make other lists below that and everything else. But acquaintances is the easiest way to do it because obviously I don't want to use everybody as a close friend because they're not. I have some very select close friends that I really want to see everything they do. But I have most people are probably in the acquaintance list for me. So that's what I did. I put everybody into an acquaintance list that wasn't in the close friends list and just piled them in there. And it makes it very easy because all you got to do is hover over name, drag down 2 notes, and boom, acquaintances. It was very easy to do in my posts and comments because I could go in the comments, hover over their name, and add them to an acquaintance list. Took a little bit of work. It took a lot of work, actually, and a lot of time, but you're probably not as messed up as I am when it comes to stuff that you have in your thing. So now here's the tools that I use to get rid of all this stuff and clean it up. Let's get into this. Now, what I did is I went to my friends page. You can see here I've cut this down quite a bit. I'm down to 1761 out of 5,000. Now, what's interesting about this page is Facebook will give you, from the top to the bottom, a hierarchy of the people who interact with you most. Now, I interact with my good friend Robert Scoble, his wife, Scott Jordan, Joel Kahn, Thomas Hawk, Margot Ivester, Jason Nunley, Sam Levy, some of these other folks. These are the people who I interact with a lot. Either I'm liking their posts a lot, or they're liking my posts, they're commenting. We probably send each other a lot of private messages, and everything else. You can also see I've starred these people, so obviously they're going to be at the top because I've ordained them as my close friends. But what you find as you go down through these hierarchies is Facebook is putting them in order of engagement. Putting them in order of engagement. Does that make sense? So as you go down this list, you will pretty much find that it goes down based upon how much people are liking and engaging your posts, and it keeps going down. So it's very interesting that way. As you get way, way down here, you start seeing that there's people that you haven't seen here in a long time, people you know haven't commented, you know haven't liked your stuff, and they're wonderful people, but maybe you shouldn't follow them all. So you'll also start seeing, as you page downward, you'll start seeing these empty head people. Now, what was interesting is when I came along and saw the empty head people, I was kind of like, oh, wow, these are people, maybe they have their accounts suspended. I've always suspected they were suspended accounts. Turns out they're not. They're people who've changed their privacy settings and blocked me and I guess everybody else from seeing them, which kind of sucks because I really don't know why I should bother following you if you block me from seeing your stuff. I wish there was a thing where Facebook would say, hey, Chris, Barbara Carr-Stipik is a really nice person, but she blocked you and everybody else because maybe, I don't know, maybe she has whatever. So why should you be following her? So can you unfollow her? I mean, there probably is, I'm not shitting you, probably 200 people that are these empty heads on my friends list that I shouldn't be. Jesus Christ, why the fuck are they on my friends list? So, you have that to deal with. Now, the first time that you usually come in here, the first couple times I think I found, you usually come in here, anytime you change your friendship status to somebody and unfriend them, what happens is it kicks you up to the top, which is really a pain in the ass because you spend a lot of time getting down through all the people. Now, hopefully you don't have the same problems I do. But what it does, it kicks you up at the top, makes you start over, which is a real pain. Now, what I did, I saw Scoble complain about this, but there is kind of a way around it, at least the way that's worked for me, and I'll show you the trick that I used that I just tripped over one day to get around this. So I was having this problem where, like, every time I unfollow somebody, it kicks me back up to the top, which is a pain, and I have to start over. So let me see if I can't find a victim here that we can take and go after. Let's go after, if I can get down far enough, I can just find somebody I can unfollow. Now, so what you want to do in this process is you just want to go down to an area where you have a whole mess of friends, and you want to unfollow them all. You've determined that they're not in your acquaintance list. Now you can see here, there's a lot of people that I have in my acquaintance list. These are people that responded to my posts and said, Chris, don't unfollow us. We really like you. So those people, they got some protection code right there. They're on my acquaintance list. So I'm not going to go after them. But what I'm going to go after is people that are normal friends, because I know at this point that they have not stuck their hand up and said, I want to keep following you. So here, this Jackie Lebroska, this is somebody I have no idea where these people came from. So what was normally happening initially is when I was unfriending, it would take me all the way to the top. What I started doing by accident was going over here and hitting the unfriend button. And what that would start doing was not pushing me to the top. So hopefully this works and we get that. So that worked. And what was kind of interesting was after I did one, it would just sit there and let me keep doing it the normal way that you do it. Let's see if we can find another one that we can unfriend here. We've got to go deeper, deeper, deeper. You can tell I've really been working on this for quite some time. So let's go deeper and, okay, no. Let's go deeper. Boy, when you have a lot of friends. See, this is why you shouldn't do what I did. This is the punishment for being stupid and playing this game. So, let's see if we can find somebody here. Now, the problem is right now I can't undelete or unfriend these empty heads, because the problem is it'll kick me up to the top. So the strategy I'm using is I'm going to unfollow all the non-empty heads first that are friends, but they're not friends. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just have a whole pile of these empty heads, and I'll just go through them, and it should be fairly quick because they'll be pushed to the top. Does that make sense? Does that make logical sense? All right, so here's a page. We finally got down to the point where I have a whole mess of people on a page. Now, once I've made that transition where I've gone up here and done that, now I can just go here and do this, and it doesn't kick me back to the top of the page. So look at this. I can do about, 20 people at a time. I can just go through here. And what's really nice is I'm in an area of the list of hierarchy where I pretty much know these people aren't commenting. They're not doing anything. I don't even recognize their faces or avatars anymore. I don't recognize their names. I have no idea where they came from or why they're following me. Now, if you notice, I am not clicking on any of the blank faces, because as soon as I click on a blank face, it's going to kick me right back up to the top. It's going to be really annoying, kick me right up the top, and I don't want to do that. What I want to do is I just want to page slowly through each of these screens and take away anybody that I don't recognize and I want to unfollow. They aren't on the protected list, so they didn't stick their hand up. They're obviously not listening to me, and so I want to unfriend them. And I'm just going to keep doing this unfriend system until I get all of the people unfriended that aren't on the list and should be going on a list. And a lot of people I haven't put on the acquaintance list because I kind of know them and I don't have to spend time doing that. But what you see me doing is I'm just unfriending these people. I'm avoiding all the deadheads. And I'm going to do all the deadheads last, because what will happen is I'll clean out all this junk, and it'll be easier to clean out the deadheads just to page down and unfollow them. And it's probably not that important to unfollow the deadheads right away, because honestly, I'm not seeing their posts over here on my feed on the right. I'm not seeing them on the wall. What's really cool about this process too is this feed calms down over here. On the right-hand side here, this feed used to be a nightmare of just a flow of noise. And I'm sure that they were wonderful posts by wonderful people, but unfortunately those people weren't supporting me by listening to me and everything else, so why should I support them? And I don't know, they just moved on with their lives and they don't listen to the Chris Voss show anymore. So there you have it. So this is what you do. It's very slow, painful process. Sometimes I just sit here with a drink or something. I was watching football games on the iPad, or kind of half listening to them as I did this, watching them on the iPad next to the tablet there on on the monitor I have. So I did that to burn off some of the shit. Sometimes I just go in and I'll do, I don't know, 100 at a time and get rid of them. And it's just a process of slow attrition. And unfortunately, this is the slowest process I've found. This is the fastest process I've found, and it's incredibly slow, as you can tell. So that's just the way it goes. Like I say, I wish there was a faster way to do this. And and what's really interesting is you get down to the bottom here, and you can really see that Facebook does a great job with their algorithm of knowing who actually is following you, friends of you, and who's liking you, who's talking to you, and who's just completely ignoring you. I haven't seen any of these people in a million years. In fact, I'm really starting to get into areas where I have no clue who these people are. So, and then every now and then it'll do what it just did. It kicks you up to the top again and makes you start over. It's just one of those things. So that's the process I'm using to clean up my process. And as you can see here, I've got, let's see if I can't figure out how to do this. There's a way to go into all my, let's see, you go into home, then you go over to acquaintances for friends. And so I've got my acquaintance list over here. There's 843 people on it. There's probably going to be 1,000 when I'm done. And so I have 1,000 people. And what's really cool is I can even come over here and look at their feed, and I don't have ads in them. So how is that for cool? No ads in this feed, and I can just see people's articles. Now, I'm probably going to cut this down for more on top of that. Like if I see you're one of those people who just posts, what is that? Posts games like, oh, Cindy Williams Farmville. I'm going to try and get rid of her game stuff, so we're going to try and hide all that from Farmville. But if you're someone who's posting that 24 hours a day, I probably don't want to see it. So anyway, that's how I'm doing it. It's if you know a better process, please let me know. But it definitely is making it better where I can see what's going on and everything else, and I don't have to put up with the noise. Give us a like, subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll see you next time.